I've got it recording now. I'll pick my deck.
Alison kindly printed out the deck listing. I thought, it'd be good to have the deck listing printed out. Then I can tick off the things. I know what's still to come in terms
Cheater.
of trying to guess where to go.
Cheater.
Is it cheating?
No.
Are you allowed to do it in real life?
I don't know. No, I don't. I'm just teasing with you, though. Especially when it's not your deck. When you're playing with someone else's and you're not totally sure of what the resources that are in there. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I did make a couple of... I made a couple of significant... Only a few, but significant changes to this.
I bet you recruited a strong fighter.
I wish. I stayed with the ladies. I took the men out completely except for the wizard. And
okay.
So, all right.
Okay. I think I just put them in just to give me like fodder that could be and that could follow because I only had the one mind. Oh, right. So I better start putting the cards out. Yep. Just having a little dream.
So I've got Galadriel.
I did think of putting her in. Oh, that would have taken some adjustment with 9 mind. Yeah, you would have had to.
Yeah.
Yes, that was three ladies had to go to make room for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So who did you have carrying the 9, 13, 17, 20? Did you have Arwen following Aragorn?
Yeah. When possible, when he's not recruiting.
I can do that now, can't I?
Sure.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can do it whenever you want. They're going to move around anyway, and you would set your points.
When it comes to my turn.
You would set your general influence points in your organization phase. So no worries about doing it now. It helps to set your mind on how they're going to be arranged.
So they're 20 even with Arwen following. No, that can't be right. 9, 13, 17, 20.
I think you need to put Pippin back. I think he was a backup
in the play deck.
He was a backup. Yeah. So drag him back to your hand.
Hand or play deck?
I would drag him to hand.
It was a backup in case there was a duplication.
And then what you can do, now you can do a remove from game or remove from game hidden, which is RFG or RFGH, and then click on him. If you don't want to draw him during the game, which you don't because he's a hobbit and can only come in at bag end.
Okay.
So that way, remove from game hidden lets you take your backup characters from your starting pool of characters and remove them from the game without me seeing what they are. So I don't know that you had another hobbit. It's just a little bit of an easy way to get them out without giving away what you're trying to do.
Yep. Oh, that's the first time I've encountered that. I've always just had what I wanted to start with.
Right. Well, normally what people will do is they'll start with a pool of 10 characters. And the reason for that is because you don't know if you and your opponent are playing the same strategy and start revealing the same characters. The way the standard starting company draft, we normally, like if we were in a tournament, we would reveal our first character first, simultaneously. Once we've committed to it,
Right.
once we've placed it on the table, it doesn't have to be turned over at the exact same time, but I can't change it out once you turn yours over. I just have to turn mine over too. If we both had Aragorn, he goes back into our pool, we drag him back to the hand, and then we go to the next character that we want, and neither one of us can draft Aragorn for that for the game for the first opening company.
Right.
So you have to shuffle him into the deck. That happens a lot. Aragorn is a popular one, and he's got so many character specific cards that when he bounces in the draft, and he's the first character you'll play, of course, and the first character your opponent would play if he were playing Aragorn too. He bounces, and then it really requires your deck to draw him quickly, or you don't get to use the strategy you've put it together with.
Yep. Okay.
So I have gotten boxcars on my dice roll. So I'm going to draw a hand, keep hand, and start the turn. Now I'm looking at what I've got.
Almost wonder if it's come out properly because I've ended up. I suppose it's just a bit of a fluke, but I've got 2 lots of duplicate cards. I mean, that's just been the way it came out.
Mm-hmm.
For a moment, I thought, oh, there's something wrong with the shuffle. But...
All right. I think
so
I'm going to split these up.
Points. 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think Pete is going to follow Galadriel.
9,
So I've got 9, 13.
You've got 4 as well.
4 free. And I've got 1, 4, 5, 6 character points. That's usually the most you can start with. Sometimes you can be inefficient with your starting company and you end up with 5 or even 4 points, but 6 is pretty much the most you can get with 20 mind of character. Okay. All right. We're going to move. We're going to split up. Let's go there. And we'll go there.
Have you got a bit of background playing?
I'm sorry?
Have you got a bit of background music playing?
Oh, my wife is watching a movie in the other room.
Oh, it's very peaceful, quiet tune.
It is for now. There's a lot of commotion on it earlier. It was surprising. I was thinking it sounded like something was happening in the house. All right. So we've got 2 companies of 2. We're organized, and we'll go to the movement hazard phase.
Gladriel's going to go to Lorien, I suspect.
Well, she will, but I've drawn so many marshalling point cards. I need to get something going.
She's going to do something first.
I need to do something, so we'll see. So she's going to go to Cardolan. We'll use the path on the card. It's a 2 draw for you. I can draw 1.
Yeah, I should have been reading my hazard cards. Sorry about that.
It's all right. And I'm moving to a runes and layers.
Okay, so I've got a double. Okay, so we'll get the minions stir out.
Oh, no.
In action. That's there early, 1-on-1.
Right.
Can't play that one. Can't play those. I've got 2 hazard limit. Right. So
Right. You have one more you can play on them, but the minion stir could be a nice setup for the second company.
With any luck. And I'll go Lure of Expedience. Now, can I guess what you're going to do? So I'm trying to remember. Barrow Downs.
Barrow Downs is a major item site. There's nothing else. There's nothing else you can really do there. So
it's an item. So
it's a one strike auto attack. It's undead, 1/8. Since I'm playing undead strategy and I haven't got any of the enhancers out, I figured best to get there now and use Barrow Downs while it's still only one strike at 8 prowess.
Yep. And so, in terms of thinking about where to put the corruption cards, I can say to myself, well, which character is most likely to be the one that's going to be playing the item? It's going to be the one that's got a better prowess, so that they can.
They're pretty close. There's a one. Peath is a 4 and Galadriel is a 3.
Yes, it doesn't really help, and it's not a very tough. 8 prowess, yeah. But in general, that's the thought process, isn't it? Try to anticipate
who is going to get the item,
remainder.
Right? And the other thing,
the item,
the other thing to think too is if I have a concealment, Galadriel is the only scout. She would need to tap to play a concealment to conceal the auto attack if I'm concealing it. And that would leave Peath as the character who would tap to get the item. So Peath would be the smarter choice in one way. Galadriel might be the smarter choice in the other way. It just depends on what you're thinking, how you think I'm going to handle this auto attack and play.
And then the other thought is that Galadriel's someone you don't want to lose. So
right,
-3 marshalling points. So I'm going to go with Galadriel.
Yeah, that's where I would put it too.
For that reason.
Okay, so we go back. We go back to hand size, and we'll go to the next movement hazard, and they will move the same path, but instead of going to the Barrow Downs, they're going to the Old Forest.
There's only 1 each.
Right. So it's a 1/1 draw, hazard limit of 2, and then it's a border hold.
It's a border hold, so this is more likely to be an ally or a faction or something.
Right. And the Old Forest is where Tom Bombadil and Goldberry are playable.
Oh, yeah. So I have got agreed, but it's not a sensible one to play because you're not going to be playing an item.
Right. There's not any items playable as printed on the site card.
Yep. Okay, so unfortunately the only thing I can do is play a Lure of Senses. So again, I just think about which... you're not going to get corruption points added from an item, so it's really more just... I like the idea of... I suppose affecting your ranger.
Right.
People don't like their ranger to lose their ranger. You've only got the one ranger at the moment, so I'll put it on the ranger.
All right.
Oh, plus of course there's the shield, yeah, so that's one.
The healing herbs, I swapped out one shield for the healing herbs. I thought it was a little bit more thematic.
Yeah, okay.
But otherwise, and the other thing is, healing herbs will let a weaker character tap and discard it to untap the other character. It can be used in either way. It can be used to heal a character, to heal another character, or it can be used to untap another character. So I thought with Galva being a 0, she might be better handling the healing herbs and to untap Votelli if Votelli needs to be fighting something.
Oh, yep. I like it.
Votelli has the shield, which gives her that +1 to her body since she's only a 6. And the shield will stay with her longer than the healing herbs would stay with Galva. So I would play it the way you played it too.
Okay. All right. So no more hazards.
All right, I have to discard 1. Okay, we'll move Rivendell back to the location deck. We'll go to the site phase. We will enter. Galadriel will, in fact, tap and play a concealment on the auto attack, letting Peace tap. I'm trying to decide what I should get. Yeah, let's get that. The Torque of Hughes.
Oh, nice to be able to choose that one.
I have the sapling of the white tree as well, and it would be nice to get that played quickly, but I think I'd rather have the Torque out first. And then over with this other company, Galva, who is a 0, but at least has a 9 body, so she may stick around a little longer, is going to tap and get Goldberry. And that taps the site.
Okay. Yep, that was a good start. So you got 1 ally point.
So I got 1 ally point, 2 item points, and 2 tapped sites. Oh, I forgot. Galadriel needs to make her corruption check of 2 from the Lure of Expedience.
Each time, yep.
That would have been bad the first roll.
Yeah.
So end of turn, I'm just going to draw back up. I'll hold the cards I've got. 8. And acknowledge discard, and you can discard 1 if you like.
Yep.
There's a chance for that deck to succeed even if Aragorn dies, but it's not very big.
Right, okay.
He's got about 9, 10, 11. He's worth 12 points in the game between his marshalling points, his faction, and his Return of the King. Plus, you'd lose another 3 points if he's dead, so really 15 points of the game is riding on his shoulders.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so I've picked up Gandalf.
Nice. Good first turn draw.
Yeah, I haven't got any marshalling points, so I think I might just split them and move them both in the hope of finding something. But first, let's pull out the GI. So maybe if I take 1 Hobbit with Gandalf and leave 1 with Aragorn and Arwen.
If you take them both with Gandalf, his company size is still only 2. So he'd have a hazard limit of 2. Remember, the hobbits count half.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's more efficient, isn't it?
They run better in pairs.
Other company down to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. They run better in pairs, and that would give you 3 characters with a hazard limit of 2, with your Wizards company, which would be pretty good.
Yep. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I probably should have. I think I might have put a spacer in, so I'll get a region card out.
Yeah. Put a region card in that next location.
Oh, I've gone into regions instead of
yeah, the region cards are even in the sites. I know that's a confusing thing, but they pop up in the site deck, not the region deck.
So I play that at locale 10.
Right. Now click Gandalf and do new, or do organize and do at the end. And then,
and I'll just have to do the others.
And then you can just tell the other 2 to get in line with Gandalf.
Yep. Alright, so he's coming at Rivendell, so I've put another Rivendell card out. Right, so now I think about where I want to go. So, maybe if I move one to Lorien to get the one company on the eastern side.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Aragorn, because he's more likely to want to be on the east. I think going to Minas Tirith or something.
All right, I've got my spacer out as well now.
So wilds and foothills. And let me just cast my eye through my resources for something on the... Oh yeah, so there is some items, so I might go to an item site in the west. Major items. So there's the Barrow Downs.
Mm-hmm. There's
is nearby.
The ruined signal tower.
Where's that?
That's
down at the end of
Waste.
Now, if I really knew my cards, I'd know which, because I know you're playing undead, so I wouldn't be picking a site that's got an undead.
So Barrow Downs has an undead attack. The ruined signal tower has a spider attack.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll go to the ruined signal.
Right. It's a little bit. It's another wilderness to move through, but avoiding undead would be the place to go.
So ruined, like two. Okay, now just check if I've got any end of organisation to play. I haven't, so... Oh, I didn't do my untapple, right?
Okay.
So I'm organised. So that was my...
So minion stir will stay out until my turn.
Stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll go into movement hazard phase. And I'll move Gandalf first. He's going to a haven.
All right.
So I've got to do the region movement. And again, I've got that choice, haven't I? Yes, so I'll go the wilderness to avoid the Anduin Vales.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go fire on. And it'll be two.
So right.
Two each.
1, 2. Let's put a Plague of Whites out. So now you know I'm playing undead for sure. If you didn't know before.
Luckily, Doors at Night's not been playing yet.
Right, and that's what's holding me back here. I wish I had it, but I don't. I'm gonna go ahead and say no more hazards for them. And I have to lose a card.
Got to lose a card as well. And I think I'll lose that one.
All right. So I'm ready for your next movement hazard phase.
So I'll reveal that I'm going to ruin signal tower. So that's a /P.
Mm-hmm. So two each.
Okay. So triple wilderness. Oh, so I should start getting used to showing what's the keystroke for ruin signal.
Oh, you'd have to type it all the way out. You mean for the site type?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
You have to type I'm leaving a space at the end between the R and the S, because if I don't, it will swap out whenever it sees the words written like that, ruins and layers, with the punctuation that way and the capitalization, it turns it into the symbol.
Okay.
Same thing if you do Haven and Hey space Vin.
Okay.
Like if you say, I haven't been there. Yeah, there you go.
See, they haven't got any shortcuts for it yet.
No, they don't. Most people, you don't. I guess they don't really need to put that on there because you don't have a choice of what type of site you're moving to. You have a choice of which regions you move through. But the site is going to stay the same. So all I have to do is hover over the site, and I can see that it's ruins and layers.
Yep.
So I have one card I can play.
Okay.
I'll do a Choking Shadows, and I'll use it for the first effect. Modify the prowess of one automatic attack at a Ruins and Layers site by +2. So that would make the 2 strikes with 8 into a 2 strikes with 10 at the Ruin Signal Tower. And I have no more hazards.
Alright. It's me back to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Your hand size into the site phase. Okay, so the Ruin Signal Tower I won't enter because I didn't pick anything up.
Alright, so I'll discard the Choking Shadows.
And I discard Rivendell, and I'm at Lorient, so not doing anything there. So I go into my end of turn phase.
A relatively safe and unexciting turn.
Yeah. Just debating what to discard. Don't think I'll need that straight away. End of turn.
Alright.
Got to do my discards because I'm trying to pick up some
Yeah,
MPs.
same here. I'd like to get my wizard. Alright.
I should adjust my free GI too. I'm up to 11.
Yeah, you are. That's right. So we've got some corruption cards we're going to try to get rid of.
Okay.
Galadriel has the Lure of Expedience. So she needs greater than 5. Got it. Good.
Yep. Okay. And I'm on the ball and I grab it. Normally I sit there looking at it.
And then, yeah, me too. Then the Lure of the Senses. I need greater than a 6. Whoops, that was supposed to be Votelli. There. Look at this. I'm getting these rolls exactly what I need. I love it. All right. So we're going to go... I wonder if we can get there. Yeah, we can get there. So we'll take a look on the map here. Get them up there. And we'll get... I think...
So while you're thinking, I should be looking at my hazards to anticipate.
You can.
Refreshing what I've got. And that way I get a bit quicker.
So we're going to move both companies. Each one has a tapped character, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, puts
We're
pressure on you.
organized, and we'll go into the movement hazard phase.
My minions. Oh no,
Yeah,
because this is your turn.
Your minion stir will go now, because you played that on my turn last turn.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So my Plague of Whites will stay out until your long event phase, which affects me moving now. I would not move to a undead auto attack site, which is why instead of going to one of those sites like the Isles of the Dead, I'm going to go to the Ruined Signal Tower like you did. So it's a draw of 2. I'll get the regions out here. We're going from Cardalin to Enidwaith. So it's a 2 wilderness to a Ruins and Layers. Hazard limit of 2.
Okay, well, I'll come in with the balance of things.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
If only I had something to force a corruption check.
So balance of things is a long event. So keep in mind that it will be around for me for 1 turn. If you've got something like the Lure of Expedience, that'd be a great card to play. But if balance of things is not going to do anything this turn, you might want to hold it.
Oh, okay.
It's great to set up. Yeah, you want to set something up, and then double all the corruption with the balance of things, and then trigger the corruption checks. But if there's nothing to trigger corruption checks, it would be better to hold that.
Oh, well, I have got greed. So
then yes, then that's exactly what you want. Yeah, perfect.
But only in the sense that it's a roadblock, isn't it? Because you would just probably choose not to play an item.
You don't know. Now, see, that's one thing we haven't been doing is we have not been playing on guard. At some point, if you'd like to start doing that, that adds a whole new wrinkle. Yep. And you could play that on guard, and I would not know what is there. I wouldn't know if it's a corruption card, like a Lure of Expedience, which makes the person who gets the item check if you put it on them, or if it's a greed, which makes everybody else check as if they had the item. But that would be the way to play it. Greed is a great card to play on guard.
And I suppose saying that too, I mean, I could play the balance of things and do a bluff on guard.
You certainly could.
To try and discourage you from doing anything this turn.
On guard opens the door. On guard opens the door for bluffing and for more efficient targeting with cards.
Yeah. Oh well, I've put it there now, so I will.
Say on guard, and then you click on the site.
Guard.
Click on the site first, and then you click on the card in your hand. Perfect. That's an on-guard card.
Okay.
So they're done. So you played Balance of Things and an on-guard card. So I will discard the Barrow Downs, and I will go back to hand size.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I go... Do I need to go next movement, I suppose?
So do next movement hazard. You get back. We're both back to hand size, and I'll turn over my next card. Yeah.
Yep. Up to loss of camp.
Yes, you know where we're headed. So this is going to be a 3 wilderness move to a border hold, and we can each draw 2.
And that's a 2. That's a limit. So you've got an untapped scout.
I've got an untapped scout, and I've got Goldberry, who I don't know. You didn't use her abilities last game.
No,
She
I keep
cannot
forgetting.
she cannot be attacked, which means she has no prowess or body. But when there's combat going on, she still counts as a character and can tap to give a +1 to a character who's facing a strike. That's an interesting thing. More importantly, you can tap Goldberry to cancel any effect that would cause her company to return to its site of origin, or you can tap her to cancel an attack keyed to Wilderness against her company.
Right, okay.
So moving through 3 Wilderness to a border hold, she's actually a good character to have, a good ally.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do. I'm going to play an assassin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that stops Goldberry doing that.
Right.
Because it's keyed to.
It's keyed to the border hold site. So you get to pick who it goes after, and it would you can't attack Goldberry. Galva is the only untapped one, and my plan, if you didn't have any creatures, was to tap her and to discard the healing herbs to untap Votelli and let her get the faction that she has the bonus on.
Okay. Yep. Yes, I'll target Galva.
Okay, so in response to that, I will tap Galva, and I will discard the healing herbs to untap Votelli. But now I still need to face these attacks.
Right.
So she is now a -1 versus an 11. So she needs a 12. 3 times.
Oh, it's 3 attacks.
Yes, it's 3 separate attacks against the same character. It's a 1-strike attack, meaning it only goes after one character. But because it attacks 3 times, that's 3 separate attacks that one character has to deal with. You can tap characters to cancel 2 of those. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the chance on her body of 9 being enough to save me and my ally from leaving the game so early. So I need.
So just one question: if you were trying to cancel with a concealment or something, that would only cancel 1 attack.
Correct.
Not the 3.
That is correct.
Yep. Okay. That's why it's such a nasty card. You can't single.
1 at 11.
So is there any card that would cancel the 3 attacks in
There
one go?
is a card that comes in the dragons. I think it's the dragons. It's either dragons or dark minions. It's called Forewarned is Forearmed. And what it does is it turns these multiple attack creatures, like the assassin and the slayer, into a single attack creature that cannot be canceled. So it gives you a better chance of beating them because you only have to face it once. But it keeps you from canceling it if you play that card. It's a permanent event. So you could play that on the table and leave it out there until somebody plays an assassin. Or you could hold on to it and sort of bait them into playing an assassin, and then you only have to face it once.
Yep.
So she taps is a 0. Oh, she was tapped already. So she is a -1 versus 11.
Yeah.
So the first one wounds her. So roll greater than a 9.
So it's a
BC
so
9.
What do I type again? I type BC. Oh, and then I.
Yeah.
But normally I would type that, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
As the roller.
All right. So now she cannot beat the next 2 strikes or the next 2 attacks because
she's wounded.
She's wounded. She's a -2 versus an 11. So you have body checks at 8.
So it's times 2, is it?
Yes, twice.
Yep. Okay. think I can do this.
Come on. Yeah. That's what I was hoping
Dear,
for.
yeah.
That was what I was hoping for.
Okay, so I discard the assassin.
Uh-huh. One more
So one
assassin
more
and I'm
hazard.
in trouble. Do you have another one?
How did you know?
You do, don't you? Oh my god. so the
So
choice
it's just
is
three at 8, is it? If you haven't got something.
it's
Oh,
going to
I can
be it's
choose,
yeah
can't I?
yeah this is still at the same character or the other character, your choice. The assassin, again, 3 attacks, keyed to the site. um Galva
Okay.
is, they're each worth 1 point. Votelli's going to try to bring the faction in, and Galva is carrying the ally. So it's up to you which of those two things you want to hurt. If you want to knock out my ally, or if you want to knock out the faction that I'm trying, or at the very least, Votelli would tap, probably get wounded, but be tapped for certain, and would not be able to bring the faction in or even try this turn.
Yeah, no, I fancy Votelli, especially with a body 6.
Yeah, now she's got that
7,
shield
7
on
with
her.
a shield, yeah.
So she and Galva, well, Galva's got an 8 because she's wounded down from a 9, but Votelli is only up to a 7 with the shield.
Yep. So I should actually hover over.
There we go. All right, Votelli, hang in there. So she's going to tap the shield, and she'll tap. So she is a 4 versus an 11. So she ties the first one, which means there's no way she's going to kill it, but we'll see what happens. So she's tapped. So she's now a 2 versus an 11 because she doesn't have the shield anymore. So I want a 9 here. Nope. All right. So she's wounded. Her body is a 7. So body check 7.
Because of the shield. Oh, so it holds off.
The shield. Now she was not wounded. She was. The next attack. Her body's going to be 1 lower.
Body's the whole turn.
Right.
Yep.
So
the +1 from the shield will be for all 3 attacks.
Yes.
Yep. So she's a 7. Yep. So I go BC7 /roll.
Yeah,
Surely.
that got her. Okay, so I don't need to worry about the other attacks. If Galva was only tapped and not wounded, she could loot the body and take the shield. But because she is wounded and a character's dying, the wounded characters cannot take items. So I'm just going to remove her from the game, and that shield will go to the trash. To my discard pile. So she's out of the game. Shield's in the discard pile. Your double assassins did their work.
That was horrible.
I still have an ally, thankfully, but I'm not in too good shape here. So that was your hazard limit. So I've got to go down to hand size. 8. Okay. Sight phase. We will enter.
Yeah, this is where I still not really across how these buttons work with the on guard cards.
Yeah, hold on. I'm thinking about entering. Galadriel tapped to cancel something with a stealth. Was that right, or a concealment?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to enter. There's not any reason to, because Peeth with the torque has to tap to cancel the auto attack of 2 at 8.
Right.
I don't have anything to do, so I'm gonna I'm going to just go to end of turn. So when I do, you can return
All
on
right, now
guard. So
it gives me
return
that
on
return
guard
on card button.
comes back to your hand. And end of turn discard, you will need to discard just one. You won't get to draw because you drew back up
Yep.
after you put that on guard. Or it left you
Yeah.
at 8.
So oh no, the balance of things stays because it's going to affect your turn, my turn. Yep.
Right.
Okay. So just looking through what I want to get rid of. End of turn. So I just
you already
because I
did.
had
You
drawn
already
8,
did.
I just got to go to 8. Yep.
The double assassin. That's a lot.
So
Now you see why it's such a popular card because it doesn't need any boosting. It doesn't need any boosting at all. It's pretty powerful the way it is. And when it originally came out, it was only worth 1 marshalling point if you killed it. And they rethought that and turned it into 2.
Yep. Okay, now in terms of marshalling point cards, it's come a bit early. I've got Army of the Dead already.
So you would need to hold on to that till you get a Paths of the Dead. There are 2 Paths of the Dead in the deck.
Yep.
And he'll need to move across the mountains to Dunharrow, which is in Rohan, for the trick move to play the army.
And so if it was in my sideboard, I could tap the wizard to bring it into my.
To bring what? To bring the Army of the Dead in?
The Veil of. Is it the?
Oh, it's a site. It's a site. You're going to Dunharrow, which is in Rohan.
No, the Paths of the.
The Paths of the Dead is the card. It's a resource card that's in the deck.
So if that was in my sideboard,
was it in the sideboard?
It's not. But I just wondered.
You'd need to bring it in. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, would I be able to? Is it a rule with the sideboard that you can tap the wizard to bring 1 card out of your sideboard into your play hand?
Into your play deck.
Into your play deck.
And he can only do that during the organization phase.
Yep. But it's not in the sideboard.
Yeah, if you had... I would have put it the other way around. I would have put the Paths of the Dead in the deck, and I would have put maybe the Army of the Dead in the sideboard, because... it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You need them both.
Yeah, you've got them both.
One doesn't work without the other. You have to have them both. And the Army of the Dead is unique, so that's why there's only 1 copy. But there's 2 copies of the Paths of the Dead, so you can at least have a little bit better chance of setting up the card combo.
Yep. Okay. Alright, so I've also got Denethor. Now that affects it somehow, doesn't it?
So Denethor can come into play at Minas Tirith when your wizard is not out. Now that your wizard is out, you would have to bring him in at Lorien. But what he does is he keeps Aragorn from becoming king if he's still in the game. So you could bring him into play and then discard him right before on the turn that Aragorn goes to be crowned king, or you could bring him into play and take lots of risky moves with him and try to get him killed, or you could just discard him. He does have, I think it's the Palantir of Minas Tirith is in the deck, so he could, if your wizard weren't out, he could pop in at his home site and actually play an item. But at this point, with Gandalf out, he's not quite as flexible with what he can do and where he can come in. He'd have to come in at Lorien. But he could, and he's what is he? 5 mind, 4 mind?
4.
Yeah,
So Gandalf's already got 7. That would bring him.
he could take general influence. You've still got 11. He's another point. He's a sage. He's a warrior. So it's up to you. He doesn't have a a good body. He's got a 6
No.
because he's old.
Yep. Well, one other consideration is that I'm currently at the same site as you, the ruined
Right, with Aragorn you
signal
are.
tower. Can he do anything in terms of influencing your characters with that?
Aragorn right now has Arwen under his control. So the 3 direct influence that he has is not free for him to try to make an influence attempt against one of my characters.
Mm-hmm.
The way wizards are most likely to do that, to do influence attempts against your opponent.
I was getting it round the wrong way. I was thinking the fact that I had 11 free GI was good, but that would be good if it was
that protects you
for the defender.
The 11 free GI protects you. If I had my wizard and he were at the ruined signal tower and I tried to influence Aragorn away, that 11 free is added to your defensive roll.
Yep. Yes. Are you still there?
Yeah. Right here.
Yep. Oh, I thought it dropped out. So if I was to unfollow Arwen, I would have 3.
He would have 3. He would have to try to attempt either Peeth or Galadriel. The only way you're allowed to influence an item is if you have the identical item. But you can try and influence a character just because.
But it would be, the modifiers would be, I'd get a +3, but you'd get a +4.
I'd get a +4, behind. And you'd have to beat their mind. So if you were trying to get Galadriel, if you're trying to make me discard Galadriel, you'd have to roll greater than all of that. I'd have 9 + 4 plus a roll. If you did Peeth, I'd have 4 + 4 plus a roll.
And I'd have 3 plus a roll.
Right. If you had the character in your hand, if you had Galadriel in your hand, and Aragorn tries to make the influence attempt. Hey, Galadriel, come over to this team. You reveal Galadriel, and the number that you have to beat, which is her mind, you have to beat me by 9 to get her. But if you reveal her, her mind is counted as a 0, meaning she's halfway turning teams. You know, it's easier to get her over there once you've already got a copy of her. And you would only need to beat my 4 free GI plus my roll.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to unfollow Arwen.
Now, you can't do that now. You can only do that in the organization phase.
I'm in the organization phase.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking we're already into the site phase, because the site phase is when you do the influencing. My apologies.
Okay, right.
My apologies.
Yep.
You're still at the beginning of your turn. We've been talking through all the options. We've been talking through all the options.
Yes, because I thought, I'll stay at the ruined signal, waiting to see if I get an item before I leave.
Okay.
Pick up an item, and have a go at this influence.
Sure.
I'll try and influence Peeth just for fun.
If Galadriel had more free direct influence, I'd get to add that too. But she's using all 4 of her direct influence because Peeth is a follower. But because Peeth is a follower and a 4 mind, and Galadriel is using all 4 of her direct influence, I don't get to add any bonuses from Galadriel saying, no, stay on this side. I've still got free influence to control you with, or to persuade you with.
Oh, so you get to add your free GI plus any unused.
The free GI of the controlling character, if it's a follower. So Peeth is a follower. So if Galadriel had, let's say Peeth's mind was only a 2, Galadriel has 4 direct influence, so she'd add 2 more to my roll to defend against your stealing Peeth.
Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to think of
And
now
if
the
you
logistics
influence Peeth away, my item goes. You don't get it, but it goes away.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it might be worth a try.
Sure.
I'm trying to think how to do this organising to get Arwen down. I might just put it down over the region card.
Yeah, that's fine. I know she's still in the same company.
Yep. So that reduces my GI by 3. So they're going to stay there, and I'll bring Denethor in just to get him out of my hand. I can bring him in at
Lorien. He can come in, yes.
Yep. So he goes at the end.
So that'll give you another character point, but it will also lower your general influence from 8 to 4.
Could I swap?
Oh yeah,
Robin,
you could swap Robin and Denethor.
Yep.
Do swap C. / swap C.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's just all spelled run together. SWAPC.
Yeah, I've clicked on organise. I'm just trying to work out how to cancel that. The choose a character.
Click on Denethor again. Or you'll have to, if you've already done organize, you'll just have to leave him in that last slot, whatever that is.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and that'll get rid of it.
And then do swap C.
Well, no, it still hasn't gone away. Now it has. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So swap C.
And then click either one, and then click the other one, and they'll swap places. And then click done on the orange buttons.
Yep. Okay. Alright, so
you have 5 free, right? 9 and 3 and 3
is 12. 15 is 5, yes. I'll probably be a bit vulnerable. Alright, so Aragorn's going to stay where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only got Army of the Dead, so again I've got to just try and anticipate, move him somewhere useful. Gandalf.
Did you say that the paths of the dead are in your sideboard?
No, it's in the deck.
They're in the deck.
There's
okay. Because I was going to say, if they're in the sideboard, you definitely want to tap Gandalf to bring them in to your play deck as soon as possible.
Yep. So I might just again move to a. I was going to say I might move to a site. I'll go down to. Can I get to Minister?
Sure. It's the nearest haven.
Yep. Okay, I'll go to Minister. Okay, nothing to play at the end of the organisation, so I'm organised. So now, how can I remember which hazard comes off? Is it mine or yours?
So yours, your Plague of Whites. I mean, your Balance of Things was played on my turn, so it comes off on my turn. The Plague of Whites was played on your turn by me, so it comes off on your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, they stick around for and they leave on the same player's turn they were played on.
Yep. Okay. And I've got none to play, so I go into the movement hazard. And okay, so I'll move Gandalf.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the nearest haven, so I can do a /P, and it's going to be 2 each.
Right. So I'll draw my 2. Ugh, I'm getting the worst. No hazards. I have nothing to play.
Oh wow!
I haven't drawn my Dark Doors of Night.
No.
So I have a trick. I'm getting ready. I'll do something, but not this turn.
Okay. Just
discard
take
that.
discard. Decisions.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about.
So I've got one more movement, so I don't want to really discard anything that's going to help. Oh no, but they're staying still. Yeah, so I don't have the same need for protection.
So all you need to worry about is runes and layers. If there's a creature I can play key to ruins and layers, or if there's a way I can boost the automatic spider attack.
Yeah, but I haven't. But as it turns out, I haven't picked up an item, so I won't be entering anyway.
I couldn't hear you. What?
I haven't picked up an item, so I won't be entering. So.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so I can afford.
But if you're going to do an influence attempt, you will need to enter.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Because the influence attempts take place during the site phase, and to do anything during the site phase, you have to enter the site.
Okay, well I'll take that card back into my hand out of the discard. And I'll discard that one. Oh, I think I've discarded 2.
Oh, you played it onto the table accidentally.
Okay.
You're just taunting me with that. Huh.
Alright, so I'm back. So into the site phase.
So,
no, we've still got the movement hazard phase.
I get movement hazard, but I have nothing to play there, so I'm just going to go ahead and click. Well, okay. We've already gone to the site phase, so that's fine. I don't need to click no hazards.
Yep.
So you have an auto attack if you want to enter the ruined signal tower.
Yeah, and it's 2 at 8. But I have got a concealment.
So Arwen could tap and play that.
Yep.
And then Aragorn can make mischief.
It's a pity I can't. Oh no, that's a different card. Yep. So I'll make mischief. So how do I do that? What's the interface process?
Oh, I don't know. I would say I don't know how you would do it without the voice on this. I think you need it. I think I know we're trying to follow, a lesson in how to interact on the chat box, but I think you'd have to type it all the way out. I think you'd have to write Aragorn taps and attempts to influence Peath.
So if I mouse over him and right arrow, that brings up Aragorn, and then I could go influence and mouse over Peath. I didn't type. I didn't press return. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. That works. So let me go ahead and add. I've got.
So you're starting with 8 plus a roll, aren't you? And I'm 3 plus a roll. So you're plus 5.
So I've got a roll, plus 4 unused GI, plus 4 for Pete's mind.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and do my roll. It doesn't matter which order we do this in. So I've got 8 and 7 is 15. So you have 3. Do you have a friend or 3?
Unfortunately, not.
Or any
I did
other?
have, and I discarded it.
Well,
yeah,
because that would help.
Something.
That would help. I have one in hand, but I'm not using it. A friend or 3 gives a +1 modification to an influence check or to a corruption check. So see, I don't think that I can use that to defend. I think you can use that to attack in an influence attempt. I might be wrong. I don't know. We've done more influence attempts than I've done on all the years before in the last couple of months, just playing the games that we've played online and other people playing too.
I sort of wasn't setting out to do it. It was just that when I noticed you were going to where I was, I suddenly remembered. I thought, oh.
Well, there's no reason not to. If you're going to stay there at the site and you've got a concealment.
Yeah, I was able to face the automatic attack. All right, so I do my roll.
Mm-hmm.
So does this mean I can only tie?
Yeah, I don't think you can beat it. But we'll go ahead and roll. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I don't think I realised it was that hard. I must have done my maths wrong. All right.
Well, it was certainly doable. It was certainly doable. If I had rolled
you just had to roll low.
If I rolled low and you rolled high, it could very easily happen.
Yep. All right. And so the other side phase, I discard Lorien. So I'm at lag there. So I'm at Minas Tirith, but I've got nothing to play. So
yeah, the Palantir is probably the only thing that would play there, other than Aragorn playing the Return of the King.
Yep.
All right.
So I go into the end of turn phase. I can discard 1 if I want to.
Right.
And draw a couple.
And I'll discard 1 and draw. And say done. All right. So I don't like my situation here at all. I'm going to collapse, or I'll move her to locale 9. There.
Yep. Yeah, you've got to get to a haven wounded. Galva.
During the organization phase, Galadriel is going to play Nenya. So this is her special elven ring. And what it does is it gives her +2 prowess and +2 body and +2 direct influence. She makes a corruption check modified by -3 or by -1 if at a haven. The other thing this does is she could use this and make any other character who's making a corruption check automatically pass it as long as they're not in a shadow hold or a dark hold.
Mm-hmm.
So she now has a corruption check of 3.
Is it 3? Does Balance of Things double it?
Well, Balance of Things doubles one source of corruption. She doesn't have a source of corruption. She has 0 corruption. She has a -3 modifier to her roll, which is not the same thing. Pete has 4 corruption points in items.
Yep.
But Galadriel has 0 corruption points in items in any source. The modifier is to the roll and does not double.
Yep.
So Peeth is going to tap to give a +1 to that roll. So now I have a corruption check of 2.
Why is she doing a corruption check?
Because she's playing the Nenya. The Nenya card that's over on the table.
So Peeth is tapping to support
Peeth is tapping to support Galadriel's check. Yes, exactly. Yep. Galadriel had a check modified by -3. So if she rolled a 2 or a 3, she would be discarded. She would fail the check.
Yep.
Peeth tapped to make it a 2 only would fail.
Yep.
Now this will, it's a short event, but it does give her +2 prowess, +2 body, and +2 direct influence for the rest of the turn.
Are you going to try and influence Aragorn?
No. I'm going to get that card played, and I'm going to play the Favor of the Valar.
Oh.
This is going to let me shuffle my whole deck back together. Play during your organization phase. Shuffle your hand and your discard pile into your play deck. Sight cards remain in the discard pile. Draw a new hand of 8 cards and remove Favor of the Valar from the game. So I just click on that. It's got its script built in. I'm hoping to draw my wizard and maybe a Doors of Night or something for this hazard, because I've been discarding all the stuff that needed Doors of Night. So here we go. Click Favor of the Valar. I got my wizard. What?
Okay.
So Favor of the Valar is removed from the game. It's in my remove from game pile now. I have a new hand of 8 cards. The only cards that are in my discard pile are the 2 sights that I used. The Old Forest and the Barrow Downs. Those stay there until I go through my deck, which is going to be a long time from now. But most importantly, I got my wizard, so that is a big help.
So just one question.
Sure.
What? I mean, like Nenya doesn't give you any marshalling points. Why did you feel it was worth the risk of the corruption check to play it rather than just letting it discard?
Because now,
when you did the Favor of the Valor.
Because now she's got +2 prowess, +2 body, and +2 direct influence. So her body is now a 12. She can't be killed this turn.
Right.
I wanted to play it because it was worth playing, and I could keep it from mostly triggering a discard. And I played it during the organization phase before I had to shuffle my hand back up.
Yep.
So it was just an idea. I think so he's going to come in there. Oh, you got him. Never mind.
We had the same thought. That's right. We've got a common wizard.
I forgot. I was like, he looks familiar, doesn't he? So he's not coming into play. Wow. All right. We're going to... Yeah, I need to pay closer attention. So
I am distracting you a bit with all my questions.
Galadriel is going to stay at the ruined signal tower, and Galva, who is wounded, is going to move back to Rivendell.
So my balance of things comes off.
Your balance of things comes off, correct.
Yep.
We'll do Galva first. And she's using the starter movement, so it's triple wilderness. You can draw 2. I can draw 2. And you have a hazard limit of 2.
I'll play William
All right.
into Wilderness. 1 at 11.
I will tap Goldberry to cancel one attack against her company keyed to Wilderness.
Okay, so discard, and here comes Bert.
Ah, Bart.
One at 12 to Wilderness.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll on her body. It's a body check of 8.
Yep.
Good.
It's not even close to getting
This game is going so slow now. She just is hanging on. All right, so I have to go to hand size. I guess I'll discard Gandalf.
Yeah, that's easy.
And we'll get rid of that too.
So I'm going to be 2. It's 2 that have signaled out Ruins and Lairs.
Correct. So Ruins and Lairs, you have 2. And Galadriel is a 5/12 right now.
Okay. So I've got a lure of the senses.
All right.
So I might double up on Peace.
Okay.
She'll have 4, and I'll play a card on guard.
Nice. So if that's agreed, that's going to be brutal.
If it is.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be. I might have discarded it. So that's 2. So no hazards.
All right.
Next week.
So
I've got a drawback. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. So we're going to go ahead and enter. And I'll tell you if it's agreed. You wait. You can. So I click Sight Phase. You have a button that probably says possible effect.
Yep.
So we're entering. So you
point,
click that. So I have 2 strikes at 8. If it were a creature keyed to Ruins and Lairs, you would reveal it now, and after I face the auto attack, I face the second attack from the creature you reveal.
Okay.
Creatures only reveal at sites that have auto attacks. So if you had an assassin, you can't reveal him at my border hold because my border hold had no automatic attack. He has to attack during the movement hazard phase. But, so we've got 2 at 8. Galadriel is a 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Not tapping is a 2 versus 8.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This is why you want to play that Nenya, because you want to stay here and get an
right. Peath.
Get an item. Yeah.
Peath is a 3 versus an 8.
Can't use the talk because she's already tapped.
Because she's tapped. So she beats hers.
Yeah.
Galadriel taps and gets the red arrow. Now, if you have greed, you can click reveal on guard card.
Select a target for. It says.
So click the card. Click the on guard card.
Yep.
So it is agreed.
Yeah.
So Peath has a nasty check of 6. She's got 2 for wanting the red arrow. She's got 2 for having the torque. And 2 for having the lure of senses. So she has a corruption check of 6. I'm going to play a friend or 3, and that counts her and Galadriel, so she now has a corruption check of 4.
It's a shame I can't counter that with my own friend or 3.
Right. Well, the friend or 3 is
but you
meant.
Can't pay resources.
Haha, look at that.
That's
So she
That's enough,
passed
isn't
it.
it? Yeah.
She
So
passed
if
it.
you hadn't had the friend of free,
If I hadn't had the friend of three, she would be gone along with the torque.
gosh, that
That
was
taps the
good.
site. So
And
you can return on guard card.
I haven't got that option.
What? Let me see. End of turn. How about now?
Oh yeah, yep.
So that goes back. That actually can go to your discard pile because you
No.
revealed it.
So what
So
happened?
just
It
drag it
should
to your
go to
discard
discard.
pile. Just drag it to your discard pile.
Mm,
If I had not entered or if you had not revealed it, it would go back to your hand. But because you revealed it, it's as if it were played and resolved during the movement hazard phase. So it would
yep.
go to the discard pile rather than back to your hand. But that was just the way to get it off the site was return
Yep.
to your hand. So now
Yep.
you can discard one and draw one if you like.
I don't think you haven't given me the.
Let me give you. There we go. There we go.
Yep. Okay.
I had to go back to hand size too.
Uh,
What I really wanted to do was I wanted to get my wizard out early, and I wanted to tap him and bring resources to my discard pile a couple times. Five resources into discard, another five resources into the discard, and then play the
yep.
favor of the Valar and shuffle all of those into my deck. But I haven't drawn the wizard, so I couldn't tap him to move sideboard.
So you would have ended up with an extra 10 cards.
I would,
in your play
but they
deck.
would all be resources, and they would all be cards. I moved all of the spell cards out of the deck and put them in the sideboard. The True Fana
Oh,
and the
okay.
Vanishment, because drawing those
Yep.
before the wizard, it's not such a bad idea when you can have 3 copies of a wizard in your deck. I'm only playing 2, one of each, same as you had set up. So the hazard, I mean the spells are less likely to be drawn after the wizard. So I figured let's get them out of the way until I get the wizard, and then we'll draw them.
Yep.
All right, I need to adjust my points. I think I've got 3, 4, 5 character. Yeah. All right. Drag that to the.
So first thing I'm thinking
Item
is.
to item.
I'm just thinking there's no real change if I was to stay and try the influence again. It'd be the same numbers. Nothing's changed. Meanwhile, I'm not doing anything with that company, but I haven't picked up any. Oh no, I have picked up Rangers of Athelion, yeah. But Gandalf could do that.
Yes,
and
Gandalf's company is a 2-region move from the Rangers of Athelian's site.
Oh, sorry. What did you say? Gandalf's
company is 2 regions from the Rangers of Athelion. The Henneth Anun site is in Athelion, which is directly across from Anorion, where Minas Tirith is, and that you can actually cross. You can cross the river between those 2 sites. Those 2 regions are adjacent.
Now, I've also got I've got Thranduil, but unfortunately I'd have to be at a haven. So
yeah, those high-minded characters, backup characters, are in case something goes really wrong. If you start losing lots of characters,
But he
or
is worth 3.
he is, but he's what is he? A 9 mind,
Mm.
8 mind?
Mm.
He
9.
he's hard to
But
get into play. Um,
he's got 3 direct, so he could take Robin, so he'd only end up being a net 6.
right. So you could have him in play with Robin, and you could move Arwen back under Aragorn's control. You could do it, but you do have to be at a haven to bring him in, and your wizard would need to be the one at the haven because nobody else can bring him in using direct influence, which is the way to bring him in when the wizard is not there.
Okay, yep. Alright, so I'll put that off. So I'm organised. I didn't look very closely. I've also got the Bjornings, yeah. Okay, alright.
So the Bjornings they're a little bit further up the map. What might make sense is while you're down in 2 region, move to Henethanun to get that faction. Thranduil could come in at Lorien on your next move. You move back after you get the faction. The next turn you move back. Then you bring him in. Then you move to Bjorn's house. Or you could send Aragorn over there now. He could make it. No, he couldn't make it. Not to the Anduin Vales.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Too far.
No. 1, 2, 3,
it's 5
4.
either way.
Yep. Yeah, no, he'll stay and have another go at Peace.
More mischief.
More mischief.
All right.
Okay, so I've got no long events to play, so into the movement hazard phase. And so I could benefit from picking up a friend or 3, but you can't benefit, so I should probably do the Gandalf first.
Well, you're going to do both movement hazards first before any sight phase. So it doesn't matter which one you do. You'll be drawing.
That's right.
You'll be drawing cards before Aragorn can try to influence.
Yep.
So it doesn't.
Right,
it wouldn't hurt to do Aragorn first, but I'm just pointing that out as far as the order and when the timing of the influence attempt.
Yep.
All right.
So Henethanun, so that's a region movement.
Right. So it's a free domain and a wilderness.
Yep.
We draw 2.
And it's a borderland, so let me see if I can do. So if I type, does it have to be capitalized?
It's border, yeah, capital B, border, dash, hold.
Oh.
If you do border dash land, it will give you this.
The circle.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a 2 draw.
I've drawn 2. Can you believe I still have not seen Doors of Night this whole game? 3 copies of it. No hazards.
Okay, and so I've got to go back to 8. So my other company is staying where they are, so it's just key to ruins.
So no hazards for them.
No hazards, right? So I'm into the side phase. So we'll do Gandalf first. So I discard Ministry of Back to Location deck. It's not tapped. And I attempt to play the Rangers of Ithilien.
So Gandalf has 2 free. Denethor has 2 free, so it wouldn't matter either of them. Denethor actually gets a bonus for being a Dunedain, so he would be probably the preferred influencer. So he'll have a +3 to his roll. Gandalf would have a +2 to his roll.
So I've got a roll.
So you need a 5.
Greater than 7. And what do I type? I'm
+3.
+3.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Oh, kidding me. Oh, Bennett. Oh, it's he taps because he tried?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And does the site tap?
The site does not tap because you were unsuccessful, but the faction discards.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. The dice are a big part of the game.
The dice. But the other characters can't tap to support that, can they?
No, unfortunately not.
No. Okay, so Aragorn. So I'll mouse over him.
Yeah.
And then I'll type influence attempt. And type over P.
Now, first you've got to go through the auto attack.
Oh, yes, I forgot. And have I got a canceller?
If you don't, remember that he has to tap to try to influence someone. So he would need to stay untapped against that spider attack to make an influence attempt. It does get tricky.
Oh, it's got a body of 8.
So if he did not tap, he's down to a 3 and he needs a 5. Unless you have a bonus fighting card.
Oh, yeah, you're saying because there's 2 strikes, they've both got to face 1.
2 strikes, they both got to face 1. And you want him to stay untapped.
All right, yep. So...
like a lucky strike or a risky blow or...
No, I haven't got anything like that. But I'm going to do it anyway. So Aragorn will be... I suppose you're thinking this is a big risk to take because he's that key one with all those marshalling points.
Yeah,
he's got a body of 9.
I play that way too. It's fun to play. It's fun to play a little loose with the game sometimes. Take your chances, see what happens.
Okay,
so he's a 3. So face attack.
So he's a 3 versus 8.
Right. So 5. He's looking for a 5. Ah, you needed to save that for the influence attempt.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, now Arwen.
So Arwen can tap,
and she's a 2 versus an 8. So she needs a little bit more. She needs a 6. Good.
Yep.
All right. So now Aragorn, I'll let you go first this time. Aragorn has +3 to his roll.
And I have got a friend of 3.
Okay, so he's got +5 to his roll.
Because there's 2 of them, yep. Okay, so he's +5.
And then roll. Roll, I would say roll +5.
What about the G?
Your general influence doesn't work. He uses his direct influence plus a roll plus any other modifiers like a friend or 3.
Yep. So it's 5 plus 2 for a friend of 3. Yep. So slash.
Oh, you're gonna get me this time. All right, 17. 17. So Peeth is a 4 mind, and I have 4 free GI, which is 8. So I need a... Go ahead.
I've got someone banging on the door.
Oh, go ahead. Take your time.
Second.
Yeah, go. Go ahead.
Hang on. I'm back.
Okay.
So Peeth is a 4.
So she's a 4 plus 4 in my general influence to defend plus a roll. So I have 8.
Ooh. to meet 17.
To
So
meet
you've got to
17.
roll
I need a 9.
That's not easy.
You got her. See, that's where when you roll a 12, when you roll a 3 on a faction influence attempt, you're not going to get them. But when you roll a 12 on a character influence attempt, that's pretty hard to defend. There's a card called Wizard's Laughter that you need to have your wizard in play to be able to play it. But it cancels an attempt against one of your characters, allies, or factions by an opponent.
Right.
I had friends that used to influence each other constantly, and they would pack so many of the copies of that card just to keep preventing each other. It was kind of funny. But you got me with 3 points right there. So I'm down to 4 character points and 2 item points. Wow.
Very exciting when you see that double 6 come out.
Yeah, no kidding. It is.
You got to remember those times. All right, so that's the sight phase done. So into the end of turn, I can always discard 1. I've been keeping this Twilight for when you get your Doors of Night, just to cancel it.
Yeah.
But it's holding up I'm holding that and Army of the Dead. So
I understand.
I'm effectively a 6
I
hand
understand.
size.
I'm doing the same thing. I've got a Twilight in my hand as well.
Oh, have you?
Uh-huh.
Oh dear. So I need to keep that. Okay, I'm gonna discard that. Right, and EOT discard.
All right, so I'll discard and draw, and I'm done. Ugh, what a brutal game. So Galva heals to tapped.
Yeah.
There's not much reason for Galadriel to stay over there on the other side of the mountains.
And probably good reasons to go.
Yes.
It doesn't hold any good memories for
her. So she can get to there.
You wanted to take an Lorien, do you, to get an extra
card? That's where I'm sending her. And
2, 3, 4, yep, you can get there. So I should be looking at my hazards in preparation.
All right. So I'm using 9 and 4 is 13, so I have 7 free. That wouldn't have helped me before, but my numbers were off by 3. I would have still failed that. You would have still influenced
right.
Galva.
Okay.
I mean, not Galva. Whoever it was. Pete.
Pete, was it?
Yes, it was Pete. All right. At the end of the organization phase, Galadriel is going to tap and stealth as a scout. Her company size is less than 3. No creatures can be played on her company of 1 this turn. Right. So we're not going to do her first because she's relatively safe from the creatures coming at her. We're going to do Galva first. So Galva is going to move to Lorien.
They're going to join up.
She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's to a haven, and you can draw 2, and I can draw 2.
Okay, I'll play Ren the Unclean
Mm-hmm.
as a permanent.
Sure.
And no more hazards.
All right.
So I'll discard back to 8.
I've got to do the same. I'm looking at what to get rid of.
Is that a cat in the background?
That's the cat. Yeah, that's the cat.
I know the cat noise.
It's a cold day, cold evening, and the cats have decided to stay inside today, even though they're feral. They come in the house.
Okay.
So we're done for her. So we'll move over to the next company, and she's gonna move.
It's a 2 and a
1,
2.
2, 3, 4. So 2 wilderness, 2 borderland, but she does have the stealth, so no creatures keyed against her.
Okay. Okay. So I'll play Allure of Nature.
All right.
Puts her up to a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll have to do 2 checks for 4.
Correct.
And I'm thinking here I've got my... If play, I could use Ren to force an extra check.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would be that would be the second hazard.
Right.
So yep. So I'll do that.
All right. So she's the only one who has to make a check. Nobody on either side of the table has anything worth rolling against. Aragorn can't fail his horn. Yep. Galadriel has 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's got 3 checks at 4.
Should be right, but you never know.
That's right.
If I can roll double 6s, you can roll double 1s.
Ah, that got her. That got her.
This is the game from hell.
So there go my item points. I have 1 ally and 1 character point. That goes to my discard pile. That goes back to my site deck. Site deck. Brutal. All right. I have to go to hand size.
I held off on that Lure of Nature.
That was a great play. You did that exactly the way you should have. 3 checks at 4 is not anything to think you're going to automatically pass. All right. Got one more I got to get rid of. Do that. Okay. Site phase. We're not entering. End of turn. We'll discard 1 and draw 1. And acknowledge.
Okay, I'll discard 1 and draw 1. Turn, untap all. So I ended up discarding, what was it? What was the guy I had? It was the 9.
Thranduil?
Thranduil, and I've picked up Glorfindel.
Yeah. See, they're just...
the same story.
They're there to save your game. I would like to draw one of those cards right now over on this side of the table, but...
Yeah.
I don't have any. I stuck with all the ladies, and I figured Galadriel is the toughest one I could get out there, and obviously she didn't stick around either.
So I've got him and the Bjorning. So I think I need to both.
So you could go. You could go. You can't get to Bjorn's house from either of those places, but you could go back to Lorien from both of those places if you wanted to. If you wanted to join them up, or if you wanted to get either one of them to Bjorn's house, either one could get there on a second turn.
Yeah. I think what I'll do is I'll move Gandalf back to Lorien.
Mm-hmm.
Moles and Foothills. And Aragorn, I think I'll move him somewhere else in anticipation. I wonder if could I move him to Dunharrow in case
You could
pick up, because there's two of them floating around.
Yeah, move. Why not? He's going to draw a card to
and
move.
And at the moment,
there.
you're not set up for undead either. So. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because that Paths of the Dead.
The Paths of the Dead lets them play, but there aren't any enhancers out right now.
Yeah, but if there were, they would make it even worse. So now, if ideally I'd pick it up on the way,
and then you do it on your next turn.
Out.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so I'll go. Everything else is working, so why not? So done there. Right. So there's no long events out.
Right.
I haven't got any long events, so I go through the organised into movement hazard. I don't think it really matters which one. They're both. No, actually, Gandalf is a hazard limit of 3, isn't he? Because Denethor's there now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only 2. It doesn't matter. I'll move Aragorn first.
Mm-hmm.
So I reveal Dunharrow, so that's a region movement.
All right. So we draw 1 each.
So he's in Enid's way. So I have to go through the Gap of Ison, yep.
Yeah.
Can't go through.
You go Enid Way, Gap of Ison, Rohan.
And that is a border.
Mm-hmm. Border hold.
Border hold. See.
Got it.
And it's 1 card each.
So I've drawn my 1.
Oh, you can't believe it. I've just picked up Paths of the Dead.
So I finally got a Doors of Night.
Okay, well, I'll try my Twilight, see if you've still got it.
I've still got a Twilight. So Twilight does not count against the hazard limit. So you played it as a resource, I played it as a hazard, but I still have 1 hazard. And I'm going to play the Will of Sauron. The Will of Sauron is the card only playable if Doors of Night is in play, but it's a permanent event, and it makes all hazard long events stay in play. So yours and mine, Minion Stir, would stay out until the Will of Sauron goes and or the Doors of Night go, because when Doors of Night goes, this card goes, and all hazard long events go. So it's a kind of a fragile environment, but if it doesn't get targeted, it can make things really nasty. So that's all I have for them. But now we've got your other company.
Okay, so I'm at 8.
Me too.
So they're going to Lorien, and it's the nearest, so I can do a /P.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2 each.
Right.
another handy thing. I've got Bjorn's turned up.
How about that? So you have a hazard limit of 3.
Yep.
So I'm going to put a Plague of Whites in play.
Bad.
I'm going to play a Mouth of Sauron. No, I'm not going to play the Mouth of Sauron. I'm going to keep that in hand. I don't have because I had some good cards that I sent to my discard pile, but when I played the Favor of the Valar, they shuffled back in. So I have nothing else. That's it. No hazards.
Okay, so I've got to go back. I want to keep that. Discard that one. Got to keep that. Discard that. So I'm back at 8. Into the sight phase. So Aragorn is just nothing will be happening there. So just discard. Location deck for Ruin Signal Tower. So he's not playing anything there. And then the other guys at Lorien, so it's just discard location for Henneth and Ewan. And I'll go into end of turn phase.
So you can discard and draw if you like.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So if I'm going to be trying this Paths of the Dead, I really got to wait and try and get these. So the Plague of Whites is there. So I can't really do it by Plague of Whites is there, but that's not going to come off because of the Will of Sauron. So I've either got to wait for my play deck to expire, or I've got to get a Doors of Twilight.
Correct.
Because I haven't got any Gates of Morning in my hand, in my deck. But I've only got 2 Twilight in my, but I've only seen one of them, I think.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen them both. I've got a horrible feeling I had, and I discarded one, thinking
look at
I'll just
your discard
keep one.
pile. You can look at your discard pile.
Oh, you're allowed to look in your discard pile?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'll just check. They're all grayed out, so I'm just sort of looking for the picture to see if I can
it's a little. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, but.
Yep. Well, no, I can't see the other one in there, so that's good. So close. So so either I'll play out. I'll either. So they will. Where am I at? Oh, I'm deciding what to discard. That's right. Yeah. So they're probably going to stay there and wait. So it's only one company who's going to be moving. When I do play the Paths of the Dead, and you can play any undead, I can use concealment to cancel if I've got a scout. Yep.
Correct. And Arwen is your scout.
Them, yep. Yep.
And I think I was wrong. I think last time I said any undead meant that you could play any that you have. I think you still have to respect the hazard limit.
I was wondering about that offline. Yeah.
I think you did.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I think I was wrong when I said that.
Right. So it would be the 2, right? Okay.
It just means that any undead, regardless of what they would normally be keyed to, can be played. As long as it's an undead, it can be played, but it has to stay within the hazard limit.
Sorry about that long pause.
No problem. What do I want to get rid of? That. Done. So you were talking before about what it looks like when hazards hit versus when they're just not hitting each other. When I'm not going where you're targeting, and you're not going where I'm
Hmm.
targeting.
Yep. Yep.
Look at my side of the table, and you can see what happens when hazards hit.
Mm. Yeah, you haven't got a lot of options.
I have no care. I have one character point and one ally point, and nothing else. But
But interestingly, we've played 2 hours and half through our decks. I've not yet played a marshalling point.
right, you have not.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
It's
so
only character
Annalena,
points.
another trusty elf comes into play here. I'm using 7. So I have
I
13.
might make this the last turn if that's right.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Uh, so this company is going to move. We're going to go to Edoras. So it's the path on the card. 1 card each. Hazard limit of 2.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, well, I'll play the minion stir,
Uh-oh. Okay.
but
And
I've got
again, that
nothing
will
else.
stay out. That will stay out until something happens to the
Mm,
environment.
mm.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a wise idea, but I figure if
Okay.
you're going to be hitting me with undead, I'm at least better set up for my
Sure.
orcs if they ever turn up.
So Galva will enter the site in the site phase. Galva will tap to attempt to bring the Riders of Rohan into play. I need greater than a 9. I have a friend or 3, plus her 1 unused direct influence. So she has
3.
+3. She needs greater than a 9.
It needs a 7. Factions do not want to join.
End of turn.
Okay.
I'll just draw up 7. Hey, I finally got my wizard.
Ah.
My
Oh,
other
you
wizard.
might sleep a bit better then.
Yeah.
Don't think I need 2 of those, so I'll discard
Oh, and I'm up to
that.
3 points now with a second character. I started the game with twice as many points. All right. Did you want to stop here at this point? You say?
Yeah.
That's
That'll be
good.
good.
All right.
So it'll be
your turn when we pick back up on Friday/Saturday.
Yep. And potentially we could finish next session, I
Sure.
suppose, depending what happens. So I might try and build a deck in case we need a new deck on the second session.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just to open Slather. Yep. Just trying it. I'll just try something else out.
All right. Yeah. Always fun.
Yep. I enjoyed.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Yep. Have a good one.
See you. You too.